Hey everybody, I'm back for a little video. I just wanted to show you what I did to the Kx450F 2016 and also did some work on the Kx65 so we can take it back to the track this weekend and maybe do, run a little bit better. Basically, the things that I did were, here, let me show you. Alright, so what I did was I adjusted my suspension, the front forks, and the rear shock. Also got these FMF plugs. They were like $8 on Amazon, $8.90 or something like that on Amazon. They're like one size fits all, so I guess whatever size you got. That way when I pressure wash the bike, I don't get water inside there. Let me get this flashlight. I gotta get my light fixed up there, so let me get this flashlight out so you can see what I did. So basically, anyways, you have to, on these shocks, you basically have to buy a pump, which is a high pressure pump, and I'll show you what I got. I got this thing online, also at Amazon, for, I think it was $28. It's a Fox Racing shock pump, but it goes up to 300 PSI. It's not digital. The only problem I have with that thing is, if you look from, the red is the PSI, and it goes from 0 to 50, but look, if you look, it's not 5 numbers, not 5 lines, so you got to kind of estimate. And on the outer chamber, the maximum PSI on that for adjustable is 18.9 PSI, and so I had to just kind of guesstimate. So what you do is basically you have to take all the air out of these air chambers. There's 3 air chambers: the inner chamber, the outer chamber, and also the balancing chamber down here. Down here, this screws off, and there's another Schrader valve there. So you let all the air pressure out. It cannot be on the side stand when you do this. Well, you can let the air pressure out fine without it be, without it with it being on the side stand. But once you start inflating and putting air inside these Schrader valves, it cannot, it says in the book, it cannot be on a side stand. So let all the air out, and you have to do it in order. So you start from the inner chamber right here, that one right there, and I put it up to 185. The standard is I think 74, so I did it a little bit heavier because I'm heavier. And then the outer chamber outer chamber's next after you fill that up. And the outer chamber, like I said, the maximum is 18.9, so I did it like at 15. Then once you do that, you can go down to the balancing chamber, and it's a small chamber, so it fills up fast, but it has to be, I think I did it like 205, and it adjusts. It's adjustable range, so you can go a little bit lower if you want it softer or whatever. But then once you're finished with the air, you can adjust the rebound and the dampening inside there, which is right inside there. Rebound and dampening, so I can focus on that. See, there's 2 screws, one on the top and one on the bottom right there, hard soft. So you just adjust it. But I got on it, stood on it, took the stand off, and jumped up and down, and it feels really even, like for the high flying jumps. This thing runs really good. I am going to go back to the track Saturday. I might even go back to the track Friday, but they have a race. They have a race this Saturday. It's basically it's called a classic race. You can look it up online, and it's scrubNdirt. Vintage. It's called a vintage race. So last week when I was there, this guy that was next to me, his son used to race, and he got out of it because he broke both wrists or whatever. So he's just kind of doing it for fun. But he invited me. He's like, "Man, get in the race, man." I told him I don't really ride. It's my 3rd time riding, but he saw me ride. I guess he said I was good enough to get in the race, and it's just for fun. So I don't know if I'm going to race or not, but I guess warm up starts at like 7 a.m. and continues all day long. So it should be a fun time. Even if you don't race, you can watch watch people race and just ride around and have a good time. But I'd like to go tomorrow. You know, the kids are in school. Go to the track tomorrow and see if I can maybe just get a few laps in and just kind of continue the learning curve for this bike, because I really, honestly, the last time I rode this 450, I started really getting used to it. But by that time, I was kind of tired, you know, because that was my fourth time riding, and you know, basically, I started getting tired. My wrist. I did take a lot of people's advice that were saying, you know, just kind of use your legs more and don't worry about your hands. Of course, you got to steer and do the clutch and the throttle, but you know, try to relax your hands and grip with your legs a lot more, and that really helped out a lot, you know, and standing up in the jumps and just using your body almost like riding a horse. You gotta kind of move with the bike, you know. To me, this thing has so much power. To me, the main thing that I need to work on, I think, is in the turns, because I could get a lot of speed out. I started keeping up with people, you know, on the straightaways and the jumps actually, but the turns just kind of ate my lunch. It was kind of slowed me down because I have to get used to, you know, the handling of this bike and, you know, how to go into the turn and come out and what it does. Once you learn all that, you can start really playing around and gaining a lot of speed, because that's where you gain your time from. Okay, so that's what I was going to say about my bike. Pretty much that's all I did. I bought this high pressure pump for the shocks, and you could use it on your tires too. And I bought the silencer plug, you know, for the pressure washing, which, you know, that's kind of a necessity. I also want to buy some new straps, some soft straps for my handlebars. And I was looking at some people at the track, and basically what I'm doing is I'm taking my bikes, when I load my bikes up, I load them up, you know, single file. So I put two straps on each bike. Then I put the Kx65 on the back, and I put two straps on it. But what people were doing over there was they were tying like a strap to this handlebar here, going to the other bike, tying that off, and then running that strap over to this handlebar and then strapping it down. So you got basically two bikes on the left side. Well, you got two bikes, and they're pulling on each other in the middle, and then you run another strap on the right handlebar of the other bike, and it's basically pulling against each other. So it's the same thing, but you only have to use two straps. It's kind of hard to explain without showing you guys, and I actually just looked at it for a second, so I haven't really figured it out. But it's really a good way. Like, you could fit two bikes on the back of my truck by using two separate straps, by only using two straps instead of four. And then, of course, when you use four straps, you're like, well, I got to put a strap on here down to anchor point, then a strap right here down to anchor point, then you got a bike next to it, you got to put a strap there, and it's running into your bike. So that strap going to that anchor point starts messing with the fenders and fairing and all that stuff. So that really helps out a lot by running a tie between the two handlebars of either bike, and then running a strap on the left side, left handlebar of this bike, and the right handlebar of the other bike, and they kind of like offset and pull against each other right here to the next handlebar, and it helps out. So I'm going to try that. And that's what I did to this bike. I didn't change the tire. The tires are still good. I haven't adjusted the chain. This chain's still holding up good. These big bikes, I guess, you know, there's not, you know, they have the heavy duty or more heavy duty chain, so you don't really have to adjust the chain as much. Now let's go over to my son's Kx65. So I know that this Kx65 is a little bit small for my son, and honestly, I wish I would have just gotten the 85. I know I've had a lot of comments saying that, you know, your son can't ride or whatever, but the thing is when he's jumping, he's starting to jump pretty high, and when he jumps and lands, he's standing up, and that thing totally bottoms out. So he's 105 pounds now. That's basically the only thing that's wrong. The power's good. He does need to learn how to go into turns better. He does need to learn how to shift better, but he's doing a lot better than what he used to. I wish that I could upgrade his suspension, which I'm looking into that. But I also been looking into basically trading this bike online, because this is a brand new bike. Trading this bike and just going to the 85, getting like a 2014 maybe online and saying, hey, you want to trade this bike for that bike, because it's a good bike. It's just, it needs a smaller, to me, in my opinion, needs a smaller rider. But let's go. Let me tell you what happened. So I was loading this thing up from the racetrack last weekend, and I didn't show it on the video, but the tire went flat. It picked up a nail like right in there. So as you can see, I got a new tire. This is the upgrade from the stock tire that came on the bike. Because remember, I bought this bike brand new about 4 months ago. This is the Dunlop, the Geo Max MX 52. It's an 80 by 100 by 12, and I got the tire at Cycle Gear for $41.99. It has a lot of good knobs on it. It's just, you can tell it has a lot of bite on that on the tread, man. Look at that, just sharp. What I was gonna do was take his old tire off, and I don't have it here because I left it up there. Take his old tire off and just patch the holes in the inner tube and put it back on. But I actually got the tire off, got the inner tube patched, put it all back together, and when I was putting the tire back on with the tire irons, I put a hole in the inner tube. So it was like pretty depressing. I spent like an hour doing the whole thing, taking the tire off, taking the inner tube, patching it, putting it all back together, and then right when I went to inflate it, it was like, psh. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Because I think I knew I did it. I kind of knew, but I didn't know for sure until I put the air on the inner tube that it was just leaking again. So it's kind of a pain in the butt, but you live and learn. And honestly, I can change this tire because I have 2 tire irons. I can change it. It's a pain in the butt. So I went ahead and just had Cycle Gear mount that tire for me, because I bought the tire up there and the inner tube up there. The inner tube was $9. The tire was $41.99. They only charged me $15 to mount that tire. So that's a steal. $15. You couldn't beat it. So got a new tire. The only thing, the other tire had a lot of tread on it. It was bald on the front because he was riding on the asphalt a lot. But the backside, I was going to switch it around because the backside of the other tire had a lot more tread. It was more sharp. But as you could see over here on this TR, look what he's been doing to the TR. Like doing wheelies and spinning out. That's the same size. I didn't know that, but that's the same size, a 100, an 80 100 by 12. So I should have took that tire, and I'm going to call them up tomorrow, and hopefully they haven't thrown that tire away, but I'm going to get that tire and take that tire off 140 TR and go ahead and mount that tire on there, because that tire is like completely bald. Anyways, I also bought him a plug for his silencer. What else did I do? I had to retighten the chain up. Which is good. And what else? I'm mixing more fuel. Also, I wanted to show you guys. I took the entire the number plate, the seat, all that stuff, so I could get to the air filter. Does he have the fuel on? He's got the fuel on, that kid. Keep telling him, turn the dang fuel off. There's the fuel lever right there. On, off. I tell him over and over, please turn the fuel off. My Lord. When you guys are done riding your bikes, please turn your fuel off. There's no reason for, especially on a carbureted bike, turn the fuel off. See, mine is fuel injected, so you don't have to, there's not a fuel lever. Of course, you could cut the fuel off from the fuel tank if you wanted to, but it's fuel injected, so you don't have to worry about that. With a carbureted bike, you don't want there to be flow on the carburetor. And actually, you should like burn all the fuel out of the bike when you stop riding it. But it's a 2-stroke, so you have lubricants in the fuel, which helps out a lot. Oh yeah, back to what I was talking about with the air cleaner. What I had to do is he's a little bit big, so what I was trying to do is adjust that shock. And you can tighten that spring up because there's screws in there. But the only way to get to it you got to take this frame piece off right here. This frame piece off. You got to take this off. You got to take the seat cover off. You got to take the entire air box off, the whole thing off. You got to take the intake off right here, going to the carburetor, the Mikuni carburetor. Got to take the entire thing off so you can even get a wrench onto the spring preloads or load screws. And I turned it probably maybe 30 times to tighten it up. So I forgot to tell you guys about that. These handle grips, I should have went ahead and bought him some new handle grips, because these are the stock ones. They still have a little bit of grip on them, but they're getting worn out. I was gonna get him a whole new set of decals. Look at this, man. Just messed up. Anyways, I'm just gonna peel that off. It looks like crap. I wish he wouldn't have put these stickers on here, because, you know, it's just makes it look crappy. I'm gonna get him a set of decals for his bike. But they were out of Kawasaki, which is a good sign. People like Kawasaki. Anyways, so what do you all think I should do for the suspension? Like, is there any kind of upgrades I could do, you think? Like a new shock? I do want to get an FMF exhaust for my bike and for his bike. You know, maybe new forks in the front, boost them up a little bit, more heavy duty, and maybe a new shock in the back. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Anyways, I just wanted to do a quick video of the stuff that I did to get the bike ready to go back to the track this weekend. Anyways, thank you all for watching this video. If you have any suggestions for me or Nathan or whatever, just please keep commenting on the videos. I really appreciate it. We'll see, maybe I can actually race this weekend, or Nathan can race, and I'll get a good video. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be exciting. One way or the other, we're going to go and you know, get the tent set up, coolers, get some good drinks, maybe grill out, and you know, just have a good time at the track. So thank you all for watching this video. Thank you everybody for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it, and you guys are the best. Much love to y'all, and I will talk to you guys later. Stay safe out there. All right, guys. Bye.